Hi there, this is Clovis from Kinematic Lab. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the symbols object. So let's go in the UI Toolkit interface, and then I'm going into the others category. So here you have the symbols button, so I left click here and then I left click in my viewport and my object is created. So I just have to do right click and it stops the creation. So I close this UI and then I go into parameters. So you see here just a few parameters, nothing crazy, okay? And you see that I have a list here which needs to input some geometries. So I will create some geometries and I will explain later. So I will make a plane like that, convert it to poly, and I will make some copies. So I will create some specific and different geometries like that. I have to make a copy before. Okay, I will make another one. Okay, something like that. So I will now rename them to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's going to be A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, this is not necessary, but it's just easier to know which one is, to know the order of them. So in this list now, I will press the plus button. It opens the selection window, and then you see A, B, C, D, E. So now I see the order. I select them and I press add. So my geometry here changed. Okay, and you see I have in the list A, B, C, D, E. So what is important to know is that all these geometries here, you have to think of them as numbers from 0 to 100. So you only have 5 of them here. So when I change the value here, you see when I'm at 100 it's the last one, E, and when I'm at 0 it's the first one, E. So you really have to think of them like if they were numbers. So let's say, for example, I create a number object. Okay, it's pretty much the same. So let's say my number is going from 0 to 100. Okay, and when I change the percentage value, in this case it goes from 0 to 100, and this is the same, it goes from 0 to 100, but instead of having numbers here I have geometry symbols, and I can create the symbols I want, have the number of symbols I want as well. And this value can be animated, so you could add a nose controller, for example, or just animate it with some keyframes. And if, for example, I would like to link this value to the percentage value of this number, I could do a wire parameter, go into a value here, and link it to percentage. And now you see when it's changing. Okay, so I could add another object. I will fill this hole and add it in the list. Okay, so now you see that when it goes to 100, it's full. And you can add as many objects as you want. In this scene you see that I've created some different series of symbols. So some of them have a lot of symbols, some of them have less, but I will show you some examples. So let's create a symbol object here, okay. And now in my list I will add some of them. So I already separated them into layers. So for example, the big one here, let's try it. So what I've done here is that I made a plane, okay, and removed a face on each one. Okay, so it makes it from full square to just a little dot. And when I animate this value, you see it growing, and this can be animated, okay. So now if I remove that and choose another list, I have now this going on, and it can be really a lot of different things. It's just you who does these symbols, and you can do whatever you want. These are pretty cool as well. Okay, and what you have to know also is that each object you did can have a different material ID. Okay, so in this one I made a different ID on each separate object. So you see that this ID is changing each time. Okay, so if I use these objects, I can apply a material to it, okay, and in that case it's gonna be a multi-sub object, and I prepared one here, and I will assign it. And you see that each time I change the value, okay, and each time a new symbol is selected from this value, it takes the material ID it was set here. So for example, when I'm at 0, it's gonna be the material ID 1 here. When I'm at 2, it's gonna be this one. 3, it's gonna be this one, etc. And you could keep all of them with this material, for example, and have red only for the last one. So in that way you could really animate and the shape and the material and the colors, etc. That's it. See you in the next video.